The month and year are halfway over, and that means so is the Kinda Funny membership drive. If you love the nearly 20 live shows we do each week, we'd love for you to throw a Kinda Funny membership our way on patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Thank you, and we'll see all of you for the happy hour this Friday on YouTube, but only members can call to talk to us. Today's stories include Black Myth Wukong's content creator restrictions, Geoff Keighley might be teasing a new Dying Light, and Xbox might be bringing back old Marvel Activision titles. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Monday, August 19th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Good morning, Bless.
Good morning, Andy. How's it going?
I'm doing great, man. After a lot of just gaming over the weekend, trying to get my systems back into place. A lot of weird hours, you know.
Yeah.
This whole weekend was just like,
I saw you're streaming Final Fantasy with Mike Howard.
yeah, continuing our playthrough.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, we got to the same spot in both of our playthroughs. I was like, what if we just, finish this adventure together? And we didn't make a whole lot of progress.
No? Why, you're just doing side quests?
We got stuck on a side quest. We got stuck on one of them motion control side quests where you have to like fly on the chocobo and it's using motion controls.
Oh no, that's where I stopped.
And
Was that in like the canyon?
Yeah.
area? Yeah, that's where I was like, no more of this.
Yeah,
I am not
yeah.
100%ing this game.
Yeah. I got really good at it though. It only took like about 45 minutes to an hour to like get the chocobo flying controls down, but once we got it down,
Yeah.
good stuff.
When I tell you, that broke me. Because I was like, there's no way. Because we're reviewing this game before embargo. So like, I'm playing this, I'm on an island by myself, right? I have nobody to talk to that's gotten this far in this game. And I'm doing the chocobo flying thing, and I'm like, certainly this is broken. Like, certainly it does not control this way. And I gave up. I couldn't do it.
Everybody was saying like, move to the stick controls. Just use the stick controls, and he stopped the motion controls. I was like, no, we had to.
Yeah.
Like, it's my personal. I have to do this. This is my sort of goal right now. Yeah, exactly.
That's me when I play an action game and I refuse to turn the difficulty down to
easy.
Yeah. When I'm just fucking struggling and somebody's like, "I want to just go grind more," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
That's me. Like, that's me still not beating the final boss fight of Erdtree still, because I refuse to go and get more of the little guys.
Skadooties.
Yeah, the Skadooties.
Shadow trees fragments.
Let me tell
Great
you.
haircut.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're the first person to acknowledge my haircut. Over the weekend, I think I've acknowledged that I'm in sort of a gaming rut where I'm just picking up games and there's nothing sticking. And I think what it is, it's a couple things, right? I think
Midlife crisis.
One, it's the midlife crisis, turning 30. I'm starting to lose my purpose in life. But then also, I think I've been waiting for Astrobot.
Really?
This morning I was thinking about like, what can I play right now? Over the weekend I was like, should I put out a tweet that's like, hey, is there anything that's like a 10 out of 10 game that I could play and like get, passionate about? And then I started thinking about the fact that Astrobot is around the corner. We're probably not that far away from getting codes. And I'm like, if I can just stick it out to Astrobot, I feel like that might fix me.
A gaming rut, and yet you've, your whole year has been like a lot of tech game. You got 2XKO.
Yeah.
One gaming man ruts is another gaming man's treasure.
That's true. That's true. I will say, I guess I am.
Because you've still been gaming.
That's the thing is I have been gaming. I've reached 110 hours in Tekken. I put in like 10 hours in 2XKO for just the Alpha Lab thing. Balatcher, I guess I'm putting a lot of time in. I guess I'm playing a lot of the same games, but I'm not exploring as many new games as I would like.
I'm talking about Fields of Mystery, but
I booted that up too, and I played like 10 minutes, and I was like, no, this isn't it. This isn't the one. I don't think
it's a before bed game.
Yeah,
you can't. I don't think it's the type of game that you sit down and go, time for my gaming session, and it's 6:30 p.m. and you just got some dinner. Like, it doesn't really. I mean, it's become that game for me as well. Like, it's sort of moved into that territory where it's just no longer the couple hours before bed or whatever on my Steam Deck. It's moved into the prime time territory for me of gaming, but it's something that like you kind of gotta start slow on and not just be like, all right, let me put this on the big TV and sit down and get really hardcore with this gaming. It's a handheld thing for me.
That makes sense.
It is a handheld thing for me where like I was rendering something out. I was rendering a video out on Adobe Premiere on my desktop, I was like, well, I want to play something right now because it's gonna be a long render. I'm gonna grab my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I'll play some Fields of Mystery.
Fields of
And it's
Mystery,
just
yeah.
you'll do a
Tree.
day cycle. Your day cycle is gonna take like 20 minutes or so.
I think the other thing for me though is that I think I'm just in my online multiplayer era. Because we've been doing like there've been a lot of those betas, right? Where like we played hella Marvel Rivals and I had a blast.
Yeah.
We played Splitgate 2 that one day and I was like, okay, this is fun. We had the Concord beta and I had a great time. And I think it might just be the thing of maybe I'm just more into online gaming right now in the current era that I'm in. What's the game? Oh, I was thinking of a game and I lost it. What did we just play?
Concord?
Not Concord.
Splitgate 2?
Not Splitgate 2. There was another multiplayer game I was thinking of. I'll get it. Oh, Overwatch 2, actually.
Oh, right.
Overwatch 2, I've been playing with a friend group they've been having their Overwatch Mondays. Every Monday
that's
night
lovely.
they'll play Overwatch
We used to
2.
do that with Lucy, James, and Tam. James Willems, by the way, and Tam. And then like Joel Rubin would join us every once in a while.
And I'm like, this is a blast. It's been nice to get back to playing some Overwatch. So I think maybe that's just the thing for me. Or maybe it's not a rut. Maybe it is just I need to be a social gamer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So point me towards any of the new online games that are coming out. Maybe we'll play a lot of Concord.
Okay.
But enough about that. Let's talk about today's news. Remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. The boys are back in town. Friday, August 23rd at 8 p.m. Join Nick, Josh Maguca, and Mark Ellis live and in person for a night of comedy at the Lost Church, San Francisco. This is one night only, so grab your seat fast before they sell out. Head to kindafunny.com/comedy for details and tickets. Also, remember, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. So today, after Kinda Funny Games Daily, you'll get our GAMESCAST, which is our Black Myth Wukong review so far. And then after that, you got the stream, which is just chatting with Mike and Nick. If you're a Kinda Funny member, you can get today's Gregway, and you can get the Kinda Funny podcast this afternoon and tomorrow on YouTube and on podcast services. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Karl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Hims and Aura Frames, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
Baker's dozen.
Actually, you know what I can't wait for? Is Call of Duty Black Ops. Whenever that beta goes live.
Huh.
Yeah. Because I've mentioned this before. Like, out of all the Call of Duties, I'm more of a Black Ops person. And I feel like that might be another. Now that I'm in my multiplayer gaming era, I feel like that might be like the peak for me.
I challenge you to stick with a multiplayer game. That's my challenge. That's my personal challenge to you.
Well, like I've stuck with like fighting, like Tekken. I think that is like my bread and butter right there. Like I'll always come back to Tekken, I think. And then I guess Overwatch 2, I have that weekly day. But aside from that, like how many multiplayer games are you playing at a time?
Over 1. I'll take the over. Usually like 1.5.
1.5. What are the ones for you right now?
It's Valorant
always.
And it would have been Marvel Rivals still. That week with Overwatch 2 was great with Simon Cardy. I would have kept on playing Overwatch if Mike didn't hate it. Speaking of another challenge, it's called the Mark Solis Challenge, by the way. I used to work with one of my old bosses at Best Buy named Mark Solis. He'd always walk up to you, bless you, and he'd be like, here's a challenge for you today. You sold 2 of the, service warranty, black tie protection, Geek Squad things yesterday. Let me challenge you today. Try to sell 3 today. You know, walk up, I'd be like, all right, Mark, I'll try to do that. You know, just walk up with a little challenge here and there. This is kind of like a challenge that I haven't really put out yet, but I'm getting close because on Saturday, I got a text message from Tim Geddes. What's the easiest entry point character class for Elden Ring?
He was in the office asking around he asked me, he was like, does Elden Ring work on the Steam Deck? And I was like, as far as I understand, yes. I've seen a lot of people say that Elden Ring works pretty well on Steam Deck.
Now, here's my worry. Because he's at a wedding, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, is this somebody else asking at the wedding? He has a lot of friends that are like gaming adjacent, right? People that, kind of like your normie friends group that isn't all about the games industry and what the latest thing is. He has friends that are like, I'm going to play Warzone, or I play Call of Duty or Madden or NCAA, whatever. And I was wondering, is this one of those situations? Did somebody watch the interview where Randy Orton said he's put 600 hours into Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Did you see that interview?
I did see that.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Really, really
Apparently
cool.
him and Xavier Woods have been bonding over video games in the last few years.
That's
This is so cool.
That's so
I've
damn
also
cool.
been very deep into wrestling TikTok recently.
Oh.
Also, the TikTok, not to get into the whole TikTok conversation because I feel like we talk about TikTok a lot, but have you been getting longer and longer videos on TikTok? I've been hitting TikToks that are 5 minutes long consistently.
I haven't watched a whole lot lately. The couple that I sent you recently was one random 2-hour stretch of me just scrolling.
Yeah.
And then I don't really have those nights anymore. I'm not really getting into bed and wasting an hour and a half to 2 hours of TikTok.
When I tell you this weekend, I spent a lot of my time on TikTok, and it is 30% wrestling videos, 30% basketball NBA highlights.
Because you started off with the Steph Curry golden dagger.
Yeah, and so now I'm just getting montages of 3-point shooters and moments of LeBron and Steph Curry's rivalry and all this shit. But for wrestling, I've gotten so deep into the Duffy of wrestling TikTok that I'm getting all the greatest wrestling return moments where you see John Cena's music and the pop off or whatever, or the one of the I got yesterday was every time Kane has exited the ring.
Specific.
Because Kane has a cool exit where he does a backflip over the ropes essentially, and it's they showed the iconic moments of him doing that, and I'm damn, I'm deep. They got my ass because I'm watching.
He
all
does
these
on the rope, right? That's
yeah,
sort of
kind of just does a backflip over the rope.
The whole Kane saga was that was a nightmare for me growing up. I was so scared of him.
Dude, him and Undertaker, man. I mean, Brothers of Destruction.
It was just so. I mean, dude, the way that when I were just talking about the Kane and Undertaker saga, but to be a kid so impressionable that believed everything, right? And I knew wrestling was fake, but then this is what really kind of towed the line for me, where I'm what's going on? We've been hearing rumors about Undertaker has a brother and that he's dead. That's kind of weird. And then all of that just leading up to Kane's reveal and being what the fuck? They've been saying he's been dead for the past couple of weeks. How is this guy alive? I was terrified, bro.
Incredible.
I was scared.
I got a TikTok about the time Vince McMahon had a match with God. What? It's fucking awesome.
Is that where he just? Is that when he recently got fired or whatever?
This is in the 2000s. This was you. God had
Vince,
an
been through a lot of bad shit.
They had heavenly music playing, and God was doing his entrance, but it was just a spotlight on nothing.
Oh wow!
The spotlight went down the ring. Wrestling's crazy,
Very
but
artistic.
I forget how we got on this topic.
Yeah, sorry.
We got here somehow. I forget. Let's get into this story.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Story number 1. Black Myth Wukong's content creator key comes with some weird restrictions. This is Wesley Yin-Poole at IGN. An email sent from the Black Myth Wukong marketing team tells content creators they must not include, quote, feminist propaganda or use what are called trigger words such as COVID-19. The email, which hit social media after it was sent to a number of content creators by a representative of Chinese games company Hero Games, was verified by IGN over the weekend via a source who asked not to be named. It includes a Steam key to pre-download the game on PC ahead of the Black Myth Wukong release date of August 20th, and a link to a Google document that outlines the do's and don'ts for content creators who intend to cover Black Myth Wukong during its August launch period. There is just one entry in the do's category: enjoy the game. However, there are 5 entries in the don'ts category, reproduced below. They are: do not insult other influencers or players. Do not use any offensive language / humor. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, and other content that instigates negative discourse. Do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or COVID-19. And then do not discuss content related to China's game industry policies, opinions, news, etc. While some of these entries, such as the request to not insult other creators or players or use offensive language, are standard across many content creator agreements, some are not. Asking content creators not to include feminist propaganda, mention COVID, or discuss China's game industry policies, for example, are unusual requests and have already been criticized by some on social media in the context of previous reporting on Shenzhen, China-based developer Game Science. IGN has asked Hero Games for comment. IGN understands this email is intended for content creators who plan to cover Black Myth Wukong at launch, as opposed to pre-launch reviewers. Andy, did you see this one making the rounds over the weekend?
Oh, absolutely, I did. Yeah. Because I made a couple tweets about my time with Black Myth Wukong, and I'm playing it on Steam Deck now. And then I started getting a lot of questions about it, and I know that we didn't get anything like that as reviewers, and nor did I see any other reviewer bring this up. But honestly, hell yeah, keep that out of my games. You know, that's like the number one response I saw from a lot of people. Very odd, very weird. I think initially my first thought was, how much of this is Hero Games, the publisher? How much of this is Game Science? Seems like if we got the codes from Game Science and none of that was mentioned, the fact that that wasn't mentioned is more surprising to me now. The fact that we didn't get anything is more surprising to me now.
Yeah.
Very weird, very odd. I just it sucks. Obviously, like, what the hell? What do you mean?
It's such a weird one. I think there are a few things with it, right? Like, as you go through, because it does. My immediate reaction was, oh, this isn't real. Because we had the review embargo, so like there was nothing like this for us.
Right.
But then also you look through it and it's like, based on just how discourse has gone over the last year leading into the election, and also within, like, you know, the conversation around game science and like the behavior of some of the higher ups, and like the reports from IGN as far as like the behavior from some of the people that work there, right? Like, there have been, I think, a lot of stuff like dusted up, and a lot of, like, I think, weird conversations as far as how to approach Black Myth Wukong, how to talk about it, what's going on at Game Science, et cetera. I think along with that, there's just a lot of misinformation online, specifically on like Twitter and social media. And so I looked at this and I was like, oh, somebody's photoshopping some shit, right? Yeah. And then when it was confirmed, I think the first person I saw confirm it was Paul Tassi, who like had a source that he talked to, and then IGN and other outlets started confirming it. As you go down, right? Again, starts off normal. Do not insult other influencers or players. Cool. Do not use any offensive language / humor. All right. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, etc. And it's like, oh, interesting. I think when you take that in the context of the IGN report of Black Myth Wukong and questions they've gotten from several media outlets now. Me and Tim talked about this a few weeks ago. I forget the outlet, but there was like another outlet that had posed the question of like, what is your response to these things that have been brought up about people who work at Game Science, right? And they were kind of like, oh, we're not talking about that right now. I think that in particular is very much just a response to that and going, oh man, we don't really have anything to say. We don't really want to put attention on this, and so let's just make it so that people can't have this conversation around the game, which I think does the opposite. I think that has a Streisand effect and makes people go, oh, we got to talk about these restrictions, because these restrictions are weird. It actually puts more of a magnifying glass on it. I think as you continue to go down, do not use trigger words such as quarantine, isolation, or COVID-19, and then do not discuss content related to China's game industry, policies, opinions, news, etc. Again, Game Science, Chinese developer. I think it's a newer Chinese developer in a region that I think is starting to grow and develop more as far as what their video game presence is. So I think I can understand some of the sensitivity around him. This is me speaking as somebody who is not Chinese, right? And I'm not somebody who completely is, you know, very well versed on the culture and like what the conversations are over there. But I can understand the trepidation when it comes to how the rest of the world talks about China in relation to COVID or quarantine and isolation. And for you putting out your first game, I can sort of understand the thought process as well of we don't want our game to be overshadowed by these conversations that could be construed as like something that is more beyond what this game is, right? Something that is more on the political side, something that is more bigger than us, right? Like Game Science is like, yeah, we ain't got shit to do with COVID, and so maybe don't talk about this with our game. I don't think that's on them to then. It's a weird thing. I don't think this is a good restriction to have to put on people, because content creators, especially in regards to political stuff, should be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about, right? I think it's on the audience to then interpret that and like take that or leave it or do whatever. But yeah, for me, like the really weird thing here is specifically like the feminist propaganda part of it, and like them talking about the fetishization and stuff, where it's like I think that can be construed very the wrong way.
I think it just starts off kind of immediately not great with saying no bad language or whatever, because you're a streamer. Like, this isn't a sponsored bit. You're not being sponsored by them. Usually you do a sponsored bit. We've done sponsored bits here where they say try to leave bad language out of the stream. You know, we understand we understand your all's content. Every once in a while you might say fuck or shit or whatever, but try to keep it as minimal as possible. And we understand that, and we go, cool, we'll adhere to those guidelines. That's for sponsorships, though. That's not for free games. Usually when you get a free game through, hey, I'm signing up to be a streamer, here's my viewer count, cool. You are, you sort of fit the guidelines in terms of followage and how much that we believe that you can maybe promote this game. We'll give you this game for free. And then that's usually where it ends. There's no, like... There's never any sort of like, please don't talk bad about this and that. Don't talk. The bad language thing being this first note is like, that's weird because it's Twitch and it's YouTube and people say curse words on stream because that's adult content.
The game is rated M as well, right? It's not like this is like the E for everybody. It's not like we're here playing Bluey, the video game.
Yeah.
Like it's Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, very, very odd. So like to start off there, for that to be this sort of second bullet point, very odd and weird for something that, again, is not a sponsorship, and it's essentially a content creator signing up for a free game. Now, you're not going to have these notifications, or you're not going to have these guidelines if you just buy the game. You could just stream and say whatever the hell you want.
And that's my other thing, too, is if I'm a content creator and I read through these guidelines, I would not accept the code. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll just buy the game and stream it that way. Yeah. Right? Because, like, you're granted way more freedom at this point if you just buy the game and play it the way you want to. And if I'm a content creator and I'm reading through and I say do not include politics, do not include feminist propaganda. Again, the feminist propaganda phrasing alone is like, okay, what is feminist propaganda? Am I allowed to be out here and say women deserve equal rights, equal treatment, equal whatever? Is that considered feminist propaganda? Because depending on how you interpret that, right? Like feminism is just wanting like equality for men and women, right? And everybody around. That's what that is. And so if you're saying do not include feminist propaganda, like what is at the heart of that?
A part of me also wonders, again, the reason why I brought up how much of this is the publisher, how much of this is the studio, right? Is the developer. And the fact that we got no notification of that, no reviewers got any notification of that or any sort of guidelines. And for this to go out to content creators, part of me also wonders how much of this is the publisher doing a little CYA, a little cover your ass. Because, like, there's no way you can police this.
Yeah.
There's no way that, like, you're giving these codes out to a lot of people. There's no possible way to, you know, to look at everybody's streams and go through everybody's content and be like, oh, that person said women deserve equal rights at the 2-hour mark of their playthrough.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We're not going to give them, we're blacklisting that. We're taking their code away. Like, there's no way to police this in any way. I do kind of wonder, again, like, is this them just sort of
trying to cover their
doing
ass.
the thing, we're doing the Chinese government thing of like, we have to protect ourselves here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's very, very weird. And I hope that we start to get more and more answers because it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it strikes me as you've not published a game before or you're still somewhat new to this, right? And I think part of that is new studio, maybe new publisher, right? And then also again a country that is still developing as far as what their game's presence is. And like, you know, Black Myth Wukong is one of the higher profile games come out of China at this point, right? Like there have been, I believe Genshin Impact was also from China. You can correct me if I'm wrong about that. But like there have been big games before, but I think still coming up and still doing this and still trying to get a feel for how you're going to go about producing and publishing a AAA action game that's going to be played on a worldwide scale. I think this might be one of those fumbles where it's like, oh snap, like how do we go about creator restrictions? And they just found the wrong answer, right? Like they did it in a way that's not going to work. Because again, when I look through these, it's like, well, none of these for the most part are on you, right? If I'm a content creator and I say something offensive, like, and I happen to be playing Black Myth Wukong, it's not Black Myth Wukong's fault, right? Nobody is looking at game science like, oh damn, how dare you let this streamer say bad things? It's like, no, that's on the streamer. But
I said fucking shit, this is bullshit multiple times last night while playing a boss, while fighting a boss in this game. Like, and that's just, you know, that because I'm angry at the difficulty of this one boss. yeah, this is all just very strange, and I wonder, how is it because of also, like you were mentioning, the inexperience of dealing with a worldwide market like this and dealing with other countries and cultures playing your video game? Is this just not having a whole lot of experience and not really knowing what you should be doing as a publisher? I don't know. But yeah, this is really bad and dumb. And it kind of reminds me of everybody playing Valve's new shooter, Deadlock, where there's not an NDA, but you kind of agree to like don't talk about this game when you sign up and play this game. And you look at everybody else playing the game like, yeah, I mean, who the fuck's gonna police this though? Like, there's nothing really there's no way to really track this back to me. So I gotta assume if you're a content creator agreeing to this, it's like, yeah, but who gives a shit? Like, nobody's gonna actually look at this. And if they blacklist me, I'll just buy the next game or whatever they do. Very, very strange. I think this is so like, it's such an unprecedented thing for us to experience in the industry that it is one of those like wait to sees. Like, I will want to see what the next statement is or what the next official thing is, because this would be a lot different if we got sent these guidelines as well as with the reviewers.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think you can send this to reviewers, right? Like, people are just not going to review your game. I don't think, like, especially for what a review is, you can't police people around what they're allowed to say or not, or what they're not allowed to say, right? Because even for something as simple as, you know, don't talk about, don't include politics is one of the things here. Video games, any art honestly can be viewed as social, political, like whatever, right? And if I play through Black Myth Wukong and I, you know, the way I interpret certain things or the way that I engage with it does have, I guess, context that I view to be political in some way, right? If I'm playing Black Myth and I'm like, oh, Black Myth seems to be saying something about X, Y, and Z issue that I can extrapolate out to be political. Guess what? I'm going to get into a political, conversation in the review that I write about it. And that's not something you can police around. I think most people, I would have to hope that at least many outlets would go, oh, well, we're not going to review this off of your code then. We're going to buy it ourselves and then review the version that we buy as opposed to accepting a code in that case. I want to bring in some super chats. We have Holus, who writes in and says, Andy is cool.
Thank you.
Alex Frazier says, chat days like this bum me out. It doesn't hurt you to be accepting and considerate of other communities. Be better, please. And here's the thing. I've not been able to see chat for most of this episode. For some reason, our YouTube chat isn't going. Yeah, it's
I can do it.
And he's already on it. But here's the thing also, I think on top of that as well, is like, I've seen the discourse on this on Twitter and on other social media platforms over the weekend, and there has been an amount of people being like, good, I don't want to hear politics when I'm watching people play Black Myth Wukong. And it's like, it's the same crowd that will get up in arms about things like free speech and get up in arms about things like, how dare you censor me and censorship and all this shit, right? And here's a clear example of a corporation going, hey, as a creator, you're not allowed to talk about politics and these things while playing our game. That should be that is like the green light to go, oh no, I gotta fight for free speech here. And for you to go, oh man, no, I don't want to hear about politics while you're playing a video game. Why you even gotta talk about feminism and all this shit? It's like, grow up. And so to that I say, hey, I don't see the people in chat because I've not seen chat for most of this episode so far. But one, ignore those people, and then also like, I don't know, man, let those people yell into a fucking void. You know, who cares what a lot of those folks think?
Yeah, I think Paul Tassi kind of put it perfectly in one of his quote tweets of, hey, it's fine for you to look at this and go, great, keep all that out of my games. Like, we don't need these conversations surrounding our video games. But if a game that, let's say you just happen to have an issue with called Star Wars Outlaws because you don't like the main character's chin and you think that she's unattractive. If Ubisoft was to put out content creator guidelines saying, hey, no, here's all these things you can and cannot talk about. you would be up in arms about that.
Yeah.
And so would we. Like, so you got to just understand that you have to keep things equal and understand when one thing is bullshit and when one thing's not.
And then Casper writes in and says, love how they say, quote, don't talk when people didn't think about it, and now people will think and talk about it because they told you not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, that comes back to the Streisand effect thing of, because he put in the guidelines, now we have to have these conversations even more.
Yeah.
And so you might have like done the wrong thing there as far as like if you're trying to avoid that conversation about your game. But I digress. Let's get into story number 2. Geoff Keighley teases The Beast for opening night live. Fans tie it to a mystery Dying Light game. This is Wesley Yin-Poole at IGN. Geoff Keighley has teased the reveal of a brand new game some fans believe is a new entry in the Dying Light series. Keighley tweeted a live action video called The Beast, which depicts a woman desperately trying to escape from a terrifying beast in a wooded area. Alongside the tease is the promise of more information at Opening Night Live, which kicks off at 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, August 20th. Actually, Kevin, if we can watch the video with sound, because I'm not seeing the full video. And it's a live action video.
So it's a woman in a forest. Maybe she has like a ring on her. Maybe she got proposed to. She has a little ring on her ring finger.
Not even a little ring. It's a big ring.
Big old ring, yeah.
Big old ring. And she's dancing in a blue dress.
She laid down in a field of
What is
grass.
happening?
She's calling the cameraman over very seductively.
I feel like
Monster. Oh, but evil stuff's happening now.
Okay,
That's what's happening. Evil stuff is happening. Blair Witch.
that felt like it was going in an inappropriate place.
The cameraman's still filming all this somehow. No, I'm kidding. Now we're just watching non-camera footage.
Bloody. Got dead boars.
Evil stuff. Bloody man in the forest. Presumably her husband, who was the cameraman initially. The aforementioned cameraman.
That's not the same girl, is it?
Yeah, oh yeah, it is.
Wait, can you go to the beginning? I want to see her again.
The beast is coming.
Oh, yeah, I guess
It's the same girl.
Yeah, it's the same girl. I don't know. I guess her hair looked different.
Bless. It's the same person. What are you talking about?
Am I crazy? I thought her hair looked way different.
I guarantee you, you're like the straight. Only person who's ever watched that trailer to go, is that a different person?
I guess it was just the fidelity. Change.
Yeah.
Well, she looks different here. It's just probably the blood.
Like, you just intimate that she went through some shit, you know?
Okay, hold on. Well, I guess she just looks happy. Yeah. In the beginning of the video, she looks very happy. Then
like, I'd understand if like her hair was blonde now or something. But like, it's the same person. What are you talking about?
It's just, she looks so sad. She's a great actress. She looked so happy in the beginning. Jumping back into the article, but what is The Beast? Fans have already linked to a recent trademark for a new Dying Light game called Dying Light The Beast, which popped up on the United States Patent and Trademark Office last week. Dying Light developer Techland is listed as the owner of the trademark. The question now is whether Dying Light The Beast is DLC for Dying Light 2, a standalone expansion, a smaller scale entry or spinoff, or what should be considered a fully fledged sequel in the Dying Light series. Andy, what's your read on this?
I mean, it feels a little too soon to have a new entry for a Dying Light game. Maybe this is a smaller entry like they were mentioning that was happening kind of like the same development cycle by a smaller team or something like that. It reads to me as its own thing. This doesn't feel or look Dying Light to me.
Like something, I think it's the lack of like zombies and the lack of like, you know,
it's a different tone. It's
a very
like
different tone. Yeah, of course, if you're going to call it Dying Light the Beast, then I think you're going to make it, maybe it's probably not zombies, right? Maybe you are running from a fucking beast, or like beasts plural, or maybe there's a different angle they're taking there. It's not unlike Dying Light to experiment around with stuff, right? Like Dying Light 1 over the course of years added hella stuff to their game, had different DLCs, had a multiplayer mode, had Dying Light the following, which I forget if that was like just the complete edition or if that was like a whole different thing, but I think they added a lot to that game over time. And Dying Light 2 so far has just been Dying Light 2 the base game, and then like a DLC drop here or there. I believe there was like an expansion last year, kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. So yeah, to put out something called Dying Light the Beast, I'm thinking I'd probably spin-off. is what I would think.
It feels like a completely different genre because you think Dying Light, you think running away from zombies when they are stronger at night and parkour.
Yeah.
And this to me reads like it's just something completely different. This feels to me like a horror if I was to put a guess on it, horror walking sim with this sort of
Outlast?
like who's a Resident Evil guy with the big suit that always walking and chasing you?
Mr. X?
Mr. X, yeah. Like it's that sort of thing. You're constantly being followed and chased.
See, when you say like horror, like walking sim type game, are you
maybe running sim?
I was gonna say, is there parkour? Because I don't know if I want to play a Dying Light where I'm walking.
I don't think that. I don't know.
At that point, it's a different game.
Well, I mean, maybe the game comes out and has nothing to do with what we just saw, but the idea of this sort of found footage, the idea at the very, very end of that clip, when she's looking at the screen and says, you know, help me or save me or whatever, and then it cuts back to found footage of her being sort of yanked off the screen in a way that looked like there was like a ghostly sort of apparition trail. I don't know if you noticed that, but it looked very much like one of these, you know, we left our little security camera on at night to see if there's any ghosts out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's the scary movie with the paranormal activity? Yeah, like the end of this little clip, it shows her getting pulled off the screen, and it doesn't look zombie-ish or anything like that. It feels like
yeah,
see that?
Just
or maybe
like
it's just a big beast.
Yeah, I
pulling
don't
off
think
the
that's a
screen.
beast. Yeah, like pulling her off, because it looks like she just gets pulled off. I don't know if she's getting like.
No, there is some like
you see that
warping.
apparition trail,
there's
right?
like warping happening.
Yeah,
on her right there. You can see.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, look at the warping on the LED screen. Or the LCD. Maybe that's just
a low quality camera though.
Yeah,
I have so many questions because one, again, coming back to the idea of it being Dying Light, and so is it more walking sim like? What is it? If this thing takes place in a forest, you're not parkouring in a forest.
No.
Yeah, like that's not a good environment for that, right? Like the last couple of Dying Light games have taken place in like very parkourable environments.
Yeah.
But then also I feel like the found footage stuff is making waves currently when you're talking about video games. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it's a multiplayer thing. Like maybe it is like a 4-player like Phasmophobia style. Like it's you trying to survive against a beast, and you need to like explore this forest and gather the things and like make it out or something.
This could be them going for that market that is, can we have the big game of the week or the 2 weeks on Twitch?
Yeah, exactly.
This could be that style of game that is going for that audience where this needs to be extremely streamable. This needs to be like, we're hoping this catches fire. And I think a lot of studios are kind of going for that. Well, they'll have smaller teams kind of just make a little project that takes them a year to make or whatever. And it's just like, can this catch fire in a way that helps us for the next game? And can this hold us off, you know, and sort of get funds that way? But fascinating, I would say. Like, I think it's too soon for a full-fledged Dying Light sequel, unless this is just an announcement of a Dying Light sequel and it takes another 2 years or whatever to come out.
It's been like 2.5 years, because Dying Light 2 came out right before, like a month before Elden Ring.
Wow.
2022. So it's been 2.5 years. If you're putting out a new Dying Light, like a full-fledged Dying Light game, which I don't think you are at this point, but you could announce it now and have it come out in 2 years. But like, do you want to do that?
We were still in the pandy then. That was crazy.
I mean, we're still in the pandy now, some would say.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy. You know what else is crazy? The offerings over on patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames, because over there you can get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Hims. Guys, sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously, and we always want to be ready so we can perform in the bedroom. Hims has treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer, giving you that boost of confidence so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments such as chewable hard mints, proven treatments like Viagra and Cialis, or their generics for up to 95% cheaper. No insurance is needed. The process is simple and 100% online. No uncomfortable in-person visits necessary. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/kindafunny. That's HIMS.com/kindafunny for your personalized ED treatment options. Hims.com/kindafunny. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions, details, and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. Here's the thing about birthdays, they happen all year, which means there's probably someone you should be buying a gift for right now. Give them something really special with Aura Digital Frames. Aura Frames are easy to set up, update, and enjoy. Plus, Aura Frames can be preloaded with photos and gift messages, so whether you're giving the frame to your sister, grandma, or your mother-in-law, you can make sure that the gift is personalized just for them. Recently, I gave my partner Leanza an Aura digital frame as a gift for our 6th anniversary, and we both adore it. We love being reminded of some of our most special moments, and it always starts some of the best journeys down memory lane. Right now, Aura is having their very first Friends and Family sale, and we've got an exclusive offer just for our listeners. For a limited time, you can get $35 off their best-selling frame by visiting auraframes.com and using promo code KINDAFUNNY. That's AURA frames.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This is the best offer of the season, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply.
I need you to go back and look at the ad and count for me how many times Roger blinks.
Is it over or under twice?
Guys, come on. I didn't
twice.
tell you that information so that you could tell it to everyone else.
It was freaky, man. I felt so in tune with him.
It's funny because like Kevin pointed out, and then like we were just locked in of like, all right, when is he gonna blink? And he didn't blink. It was wild.
There was a couple at the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
There was a couple at
I
the
think
end
it was
there.
exhaustion at the end.
Yeah. It was like I can't take it anymore. I gotta fucking conserve my eyes here. Story number three is a rumor. So Kevin, I'm gonna need you to take us to speculation station. I love that. There we go. I didn't tee him up at all. So I was wondering how long it would take him to get there if
How
I just
quickly get it.
busted out. Story number 3, Xbox is reportedly reviving old Marvel Activision games. This is Sam Fang.
I forgot I made that emote on Twitch. The one with Blessing in the Train.
Wait, what?
I forgot I made that
I didn't know that emote existed.
Well, it's because you never see them animate on the restream
Oh,
chat.
yeah, we can never see the animated
Yeah,
emotes.
damn, it sucks. I can only see the train part of it.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, from here, it's so small, too. This is Sam Fang at CBR. Microsoft may be working with Marvel in order to license Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance video games for Xbox. The two titles were originally published by Activision, but the company lost rights several years ago, resulting in the games no longer being available for purchase. A rumor reported by Tech for Gamers indicates that Xbox plans to capitalize on the massive success of Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine film by relicensing its Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance ports. Activision, which was recently acquired by Microsoft, originally published the games, but Marvel now retains the rights to the games and the characters. What is it, Kevin?
I just saw the like I zoomed in and got to see.
Oh, look, somebody embiggened it.
Yeah, it's big now. That's so... How
Did you just say somebody embiggened it?
They embiggened it, yeah.
That's very
Cameron
impressive.
Kennedy embiggened it as well.
what is that picture of me even from?
I asked you to smile for me in a photo so I
Oh,
could
you
make the
did.
emote for you.
That's so funny. I did not know this is what it was going to be. That's so funny. Continuing the article, but Marvel now retains rights to the games and characters, which has made it so the games have been unable to be purchased. Nick Baker from Xbox Era discussed the rumor on a recent episode of the website's podcast, saying, quote, Microsoft is looking to bring those two games back for PC and series consoles, end quote. Nothing has been officially confirmed by Marvel or Microsoft at this time. Tech for Gamers noted that the possible relicensing could lead to further Marvel titles being brought back to Xbox. Similar rumors have circulated in the past that indicate there are other Activision titles also stuck with licensing issues, and renewed partnership between Marvel and Xbox could see them re-released as well. These games include X-Men Origins Wolverine and Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Andy, would you want the Deadpool game from like 2013, 2012? You want that to come back? Want that remastered, put on Xbox?
I mean, I don't see why any of that would be a bad thing. I mean, it really helps out the case of we are trying to catalog these games. We don't want to lose these games to time or to licensing issues, which is usually the reason why they end up going, and that's why people resort to emulation and ROMs and stuff like that. I think it feels like such a cool, surprising, proactive thing, like, of course they could always make more money on it, and that's always kind of part of the thinking, especially with how these IPs are sort of coming back. And not that Deadpool ever left, but this is a great time to kind of revive a Deadpool style game. I don't see why this would be a bad decision. I did see a tweet recently of somebody who tried to get the Deadpool game and then ended up getting hacked by somebody in Turkey. No, there was like something happened recently where somebody was like, "What if I tried to get a ROM of the old Deadpool game?" And then somebody ended up getting hacked pretty badly.
I'm so glad that allegedly I made it out of that life. Like back in when I was in college, and
what does this mean? Where's this going?
Back in college, I didn't have disposable income like I do now,
okay.
right? And like I did when I made it out of college. And so like, was I on certain websites trying to find ways to play games that I didn't have access to, but I wanted to get access to the games? Allegedly, maybe, who knows? I couldn't tell you for sure. But like when I tell you there was an email I got that scared the shit out of me. That was from Comcast, and they're like, "Stop it!" And I was like, "Fuck."
What?
Yeah, it was like, "Stop. We know what you're doing." And I'm like, "Oh, never mind. I'm done."
Yo,
I'm
what?
done.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Plus, I got one too.
You got one of those?
I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't check that email very often, but like, let's say that maybe.
Yeah, because it was the Xfinity email specifically. They sent it to.
Maybe I did, and I was just like, "Well, this is 3 months ago, so I guess you didn't mean it live."
Here's the thing, because I didn't get one of those emails. I got like 5 of those emails in a row, and I was like, "Fuck." I could have nuked our IP address. Like my house would not have gotten internet if I had continued what I was doing. Maybe. I don't know if they took that shit as seriously. I don't know if they really would have cut off my internet.
I think it's a lie.
But they threatened to. They definitely threatened to, and I was like, I'm
prove
done.
who's doing what. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that they. Whoa!
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like,
well, that's why you need a VPN.
I always heard rumors about this stuff, and I always heard like the warnings and fears. I was like, that's an old wives' tale. That shit doesn't actually. They're not gonna actually. Your IP isn't actually going to contact you.
No, they will.
That's crazy.
Unless, that's why like you have to use, if you're going to do that stuff, which you shouldn't. But if you're going to, you got to use it. You have to have a VPN. But anyway, I think this stuff is cool and fascinating. I don't know how much of it I believe. Like X-Men Origins Wolverine, I don't think will happen. I think I think the conversation maybe could get started from Xbox to Disney, but I think Disney would go, well, we have a Wolverine game being made right now by PlayStation. I don't know, right now is the time to greenlight you guys, like, making the X-Men Origins Wolverine game available again.
You don't think out of the kindness of their heart?
No.
You don't think, like, for the better of humanity to be able to have these games playable again? The good guy Disney, come on, they would do.
They would. I don't think they would. But also,
call John Drake. We'll call
to the
John
Deadpool
Drake.
game. The question I think ends up being: is there a Deadpool game either planned or in development? Because like, if not, then yeah, like make the Deadpool game available again. But also, there should be a Deadpool game in development. Obviously, people love Deadpool, and Deadpool is selling tickets, and Wolverine. But if there's not a Deadpool game being in development right now, I think Disney probably should be planning one. I wouldn't be surprised if they're already like trying to make that deal and make that happen.
Deadpool comes soon on Marvel's Avengers on PS4.
Another, it's dead. We're bringing it back to this one more thing. That would be the most Deadpool shit you could actually do. Who would develop a Deadpool game though? If you make a new one.
Okay, so we're thinking sword combat with some gunfire.
I mean, Capcom, the Devil May Cry team.
You need a crack team of writers though.
You do. I mean, Devil May Cry has some good writing in it.
You gotta. Okay, but like, hold up. When was the last time you played a DMC game?
The last one. So like, what, 2019?
Okay, cool. Okay.
2018, 2019?
I don't know if that's like the right tone. I don't know.
It's not.
Like, I think you need, unless you're just bringing on some outside writers to this team that better fit the project or whatever. Let me look up.
I do think that Devil May Cry is definitely not the tone for Deadpool, but it's also at the same time not far off. Like,
yeah.
Devil May Cry has a lot of goofiness and over the topness to it. It's also very Japanese is the thing.
I don't know if the snappiness would be there.
Yeah. I could see them having a very interesting take on Deadpool, but I do think that it would be almost more, the focus of the game would be more on the action than on just like the writing and the like the comedy and stuff. I feel like that stuff would take a backseat to like the gameplay for a Devil May Cry studio Deadpool game.
Do you think there would be a QuickTime event, like sort of joke that would be breaking the fourth wall sort of thing?
Like how so?
Like a moment where like it's to make fun of QuickTime events. You would have to like hit the thing
yeah.
and he'd like look at the camera, or like he'd like
Dude,
walk out of your TV.
It would be
or something.
hilarious if they did that, but like they use the exact same QuickTime events from like the Amazing Spider-Man games. Have you seen these? Where like you'll fail a QuickTime event and like
yes.
fucking Spider-Man will fall to his death.
Yes. Yeah.
If they just do that like bar for bar. Somebody says Suda 51. I think that could be fun. Honestly, like we're naming Japanese developers. I feel like a Japanese developer could have a lot of fun with Deadpool. I feel like that like specific tone and style of gameplay could work pretty well if you gave it to a Platinum or you gave it to a Suda or a Capcom. Because then, if not, then my mind goes to Insomniac, but I think they're too busy. And
yeah,
then who else?
Insomniac's too busy.
Somebody says Gearbox. I don't know why I did like that. I like Gearbox, but I don't know if I want them to do Deadpool.
I think you said just because of the recent like Borderlands movie reviews and
But also
vibes.
because the Borderlands humor. Because here's the thing. Borderlands humor, I don't necessarily hate. I think it's fine. I think it's funny sometimes. Deadpool humor can be very hit or miss with me, and when it misses big. Where I get cringy. Part of this is because I had a friend growing up that was too into Deadpool. You know, like I feel like if people out there
That'll
have
do it.
those friends where it's like you like Deadpool too much, and now your whole personality is like over the top meta humor, and now I can't do it anymore. So mixing that with Borderlands style writing is what made me go, ugh.
I would say though, of what I played, I didn't play the whole Tiny Tina's Wonderlands game.
Mm-hmm.
I would I hold that writing on a much higher level than what I experienced with Borderlands 3. I hopped into Tiny Tina Wonderlands expecting the same kind of 50-50 hit rate of will I giggle at, or will I give this a chuckle? Will I give this game a guffaw in a couple of moments of writing? Tiny Tina Wonderlands was a lot more impressive with the sort of quickness and the wittiness.
I'm looking up Deadpool,
Much more guffaws.
Deadpool video game to see who developed it. It was developed by High Moon Studios, who did damn, they did a lot of licensed stuff. Are they even still around?
I mean,
I mean, they have a website.
I was just gonna say like,
High Moon does the Call of Duty stuff.
okay, good for them, because I was gonna say odds are like let's just be real here.
Yeah.
The sad state of the industry.
I mean, it's like they're like I believe Call of Duty support. But they also did like the Transformers games.
So they got put on Toys for Bob, dude. Like sort of like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Go work on a Call of Duty.
Chat, let me know in Super Chats who should make a Deadpool.
Quit coming
game.
at us with your original ideas and concepts. Go make a gun.
Help us make a
go
battle
fucking make
pass.
a gun and a power up.
Make
all
a
right?
skin for Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Story number 4. Kong Survivor Instinct has been announced. This is Ryan McCaffrey at IGN. Developers 7 Levels and Legendary Entertainment have announced Kong Survivor Instinct, a new narrative-driven 2.5D action-adventure game for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S that puts you in the shoes of a father desperately searching for his missing daughter as titans like Kong and Abaddon?
Abaddon? Abaddon? I don't know.
Not to mention the enemy mercenary group, the Hyenas, get in your way. Kong Survivor Instinct is due out this fall. Quote, 7 Levels has brilliantly captured a unique corner of the Monsterverse through a gripping 2.5D action-adventure experience, weaving a very human storyline, said Legendary Entertainment's VP.
Why are you giggling?
Have you seen again, TikToks ruined my brain. Have you seen the TikToks where like somebody will show you like a fucked up device and that's like obviously made by a robot or alien?
Yes.
And they'll be like, oh, it's very human.
The design is very human.
The design is very human.
I'm not a part of that. That's not in my algorithm.
And it'll be like a toilet, and then it has this like 4 arms, like metal prongs that go up and open up whatever hole you put there, and it said it allows everything to go out faster.
Very human in design.
Very human in design.
I've never heard of this. This is not what I thought the game was going to be, though.
Yeah, I know, right? So,
I thought it was going to be much more inside, much more sort of exploration puzzles while trying not to get killed. But I saw a dude running around just with a pistol shooting dudes with shields and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is not what I thought they were going for.
Yeah, I mean, when we first brought up the gameplay, I don't think I was even expecting side scroller. I know the article says 2.5D, but like actually seeing it like in action, I'm like, oh, all right.
I don't know.
That's not for me, I don't think, but cool that they're doing it.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't have particularly a whole lot positive to say right now.
The article ends with a quote: "Experiencing the narrative through the eyes of a civilian, unaffiliated with any agencies, adds a layer of realism and emotional depth that we hope will resonate with our fans." End quote. Very human story.
Well, I mean, what does suck is that, you know, the best sort of human stories we've gotten from any of these have, it was what we just got with the most recent Kong movie with Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Or different, different thing. Yeah,
yeah.
Monsterverse or whatever. And the Kong movies haven't ever really particularly done a great job with the human side of things. So this isn't one of those situations where you go, well, the movies nailed so much of those aspects. Surely the game will as well.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't give me a whole lot of hope because oh gosh, what is this? Kevin brought up the clip. This makes no sense to me.
These TikToks had a chokehold on me in like 2021.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
For like a good month.
I don't know what algorithm I was on then. Surprised I missed it because that was probably my strongest time to be using TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably. I'm trying to think of like what TikTok danced 2021.
Bless, do you think it's my fault? Because I kept sending you weird TikToks like this.
Probably.
At the beginning of TikTok.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
Kevin's
That
fault.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, damn, 2021 was a different time because like it was just me sending TikToks to like Kevin, Joey, and Lucy James, and like that was it. That's all I did in 2021.
Tricky says the Kong Skull Island humans are great. I agree. I think Kong Skull Island's probably like the best that the MonsterVerse has been, and it hasn't ever quite. But I'm saying that I'm grading on a curve because I still don't think it was like great or anything, but it was still the most impressive. But everything after that just has not really ever really hit at a level that you tell your friends you got to watch this movie, dude, because the human character interactions are so god tier. They're just so whatever. So this just feels like a game that I don't need.
I like the one with main character from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Him.
Now, here's the problem, though. My problem with that movie is that he died about 15 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, but
Bryan
like
Cranston.
Bryan Cranston made those 15 minutes matter. You know,
Dude, like I'll tell you this. This is like right after Breaking Bad ended, and my dad and I, massive fans of Breaking Bad, and we went to go watch this movie in theaters, and Bryan Cranston like dies, and it felt like it was gonna be a fake out, kind of like, oh, he's actually alive. And when it was confirmed he was like dead,
you're like, fuck.
my dadly number, he was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Like there's an hour and a half left of this movie.
They really just killed him, and I was like, we'll see. And like, just the strongest, most emotional point of the movie was gone, and it just the rest of the movie I was just checked out. But then Elizabeth Olsen would show up, and I'd be like, all right, I'm kind of back in.
Yeah, I feel that. Story number 5, Final Fantasy 16 for PC launches September 17th. I'm pulling from Sal Romano at Gematsu. The PC version of FF16 will launch via Steam and Epic Games Store September 17th for $49.99. Square Enix has announced a complete edition, including the base game and the downloadable contents of Echoes of the Fallen and The Rising Tide, will also be available for $69.99. Nice. A demo featuring the opening section of the game is available now, and save data can be carried over to the full game.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're gonna check out that FF16 for PC.
Gotta check out that demo. Are you
120
kidding me?
FPS, ray tracing on.
Give me
NVIDIA DLSS.
I can't
fucking
wait for my game to not drop to
drivers
480p.
to max. You're gonna put the VSync
So
on,
stoked.
off. Which is better?
Usually have it off.
VSync on, off.
I usually have it off because my PC can handle it. Usually have VSync on in order to prevent screen tearing because like either your GPU or your like things are just like kind of out of whack, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a way to it adds more latency, more button input latency, but it like prevents the screen tearing.
Hell yeah.
I'm very excited.
What's
for this.
the go-to? Like you open up the graphics settings in a PC game.
Yeah.
What's the setting you have to check first? What's the go-to?
It's a great question,
Yeah.
Blessing. Great question. I checked to see if the frame rate limiter actually works. A lot of games that'll be like, limit the frame rate, and it just doesn't work or whatever. So usually that requires me to open up, like I did on your PC, I open up the NVIDIA settings to use the frame rate limiter there because sometimes some games just don't work. I'll check the frame rate limiter. I'll check to see. Usually, I don't need like ultra graphics because like it's always like a little bit too much for real like non-noticeable details, you know. And a lot of that information that I've gotten is from like Digital Foundry when Alex Battaglia will do like his wrap-up videos and be like, hey, for medium settings to ultra, they look pretty much the same and you're getting like 8 more frames or whatever. So that's usually what I will do and try to like mess around with settings. I'll turn on ray tracing if it's possible to see if it is an option. And if it requires me to restart the game, then I probably won't do it.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I hate that too. I had that a lot with Black Myth, where I'm like, let me check this setting. They're like, restart. And I'm like, oh,
I don't want
never
to do
mind.
that.
Like, I'm just trying to play the game, dude.
Yeah.
Story number 6, a Nintendo Direct is happening today.
What?
This is tweeted out by Nintendo. Join us tomorrow. This is tweeted out yesterday, August 19th at 3 p.m. Pacific time for a tour of the Nintendo Museum that's scheduled to open during the fall of 2024 in Kyoto, Japan. The Nintendo Museum Direct live stream will last roughly 10 minutes. Then follow up with a tweet that says, please note that there will be no game announcements or mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during this presentation. Bear's laughing in the background.
That's great. We should go to this. We should do a little,
I'm down.
little
Go to
school
Kyoto?
field trip. Yeah.
I'm so down.
Do some podcasts from there. Get us kicked out.
What do you show off in a Direct about a museum? Just the exhibits? Don't you want to like have people go to the museum for the exhibits? Like, shouldn't that be a surprise? Maybe not a surprise, but,
No,
like,
because I mean, you got to show off the theme parks to get people to want to go there to see it in person.
That's true.
You got to show off that this thing exists, that it's legitimate, that it's not just like a little kind of weird project that they're working on. It's like, no, they want this to be legitimate. They want this to be taken seriously. So go look, and you can find, you know, you can see the prototype Game Boy or whatever the hell. Like, that's the
Here's
stuff
my thing,
I want to
right?
see.
Like, you show off the theme parks, but it's not like by looking at the theme parks, I'm riding the roller coaster. You show me your pieces in the museum, and it's like, well, I'm seeing it right now. Why would I go there? Why would I just go there to
Is
see
that really
it
where we're at?
You know what I mean? Like, you show me the Mona Lisa. Why do I go to the Louvre?
I mean, that's true. You're not wrong there.
Yeah.
Old piece of spaghetti at it.
Fucking
You know?
old piece of spaghetti.
Yeah, people throwing like pasta at it and stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
At the Mona Lisa?
yeah.
Wouldn't that ruin the painting?
Well, I mean, it's covered in
Yeah.
like glass. Like, you could shoot at that sucker with a bazooka and nothing will happen
Yeah,
to
they
it.
covered it in glass because there was an attack like a couple years ago.
Yeah, people were like protesters and stuff. It was like,
so it was an act of protest that they're throwing the spaghetti.
yeah, they got like a pile of fucking like
Was it
SpaghettiOs or
Italians
whatever.
protesting? Why was it spaghetti?
I mean, well, that's a very racist thing to say, Blessing. I don't know.
Super racist. Bless. Jesus.
No.
It was just food. It was just food. Someone threw a taco at it. They got Mexicans over there.
Okay, don't like. Listen,
It was just.
I apologize. All right, I wasn't thinking.
It was just food. It was just a food thing. It was just food.
If I've angered the Italian community,
No, they're really cool. They don't get mad.
Yeah, they're cool. They're chill.
damn, that's big. That's
Yeah.
huge. But I wanted something smaller. If I wanted the tiniest,
Solid.
the tiniest noodle you could know about, where would I go, Andy?
You would go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Oh, like, actually, no, I won't say that. I had something. Oh, I loaded that up and I thought about it for a second. Story number 7, we got Wii news for you. Sonic Cross Shadows Generations Collector's Edition has been revealed. When I tell you, this shit looks fire, man. It looks good. They got this fucking soundtrack in there. They got a little statue.
God damn.
They got a statue that is a Dreamcast with Shadow and Sonic standing on top of the Dreamcast.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to throw away 99% of the rest of it after a while.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's the thing. I just want that statue.
I'm talking like after a year, you're cleaning out your room, you're like, get rid of this,
Yeah.
get rid of this. Yeah, that's what usually happens with me. But that statue is pretty badass.
Yeah.
What about the keychain shoes?
I like the keychain a lot. I think
Ooh.
I'll probably hold on to the keychain.
The Chow figurines are cute.
Chow figurines are cute. I'll probably have one of those at my desk.
The figurines are the ones you keep. The art books like this, I'm not trying to like talk shit about this particular art book, but it doesn't look serious enough.
Is it because it's like paperback?
It just looks like, I don't know, it just doesn't look serious.
I fuck with the art book because like Sonic is one of those things where like there's an artist community when it comes to Sonic. Like people, the art design of like
Should I Google
Sonic-
some
no
homemade art?
no
Yeah.
leave that out of this.
Look up 34 versions of of Sonic. So you just type in Sonic 34.
No, I don't type in Sonic 34.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Oh God!
Yeah, no, I'd try to warn you. Geoff Keighley announced that there will be no Hollow Knight Silk Song at Opening Night Live. Surprising? No.
I mean, he also tweeted that with the image of the clown drawn on the night, and it just sucks. It really bums me out.
Mega Man has been announced in Funko Fusion. We got a Woofing Bear in the background.
I have that Funko Pop.
The Mega Man Funko Pop?
Yeah, I bought it like
I watched the trailer
long
for this,
time ago.
and I think I realized that, you know how Tim doesn't like Astrobot's design? I think that's me with Funko Pops. I don't like how these Funko Pops look.
I think we universally decided this game very cheaply made, right?
Oh, yeah, the game
Well,
for
sure. I mean, looking at it now, this looks like a video game. The one that we saw on Switch was something entirely different.
Was it?
Oh, that was the Switch trailer, wasn't
Yeah.
it? That looked crazy.
Like, this looks much better in terms of like what a video game should look like nowadays with reflections and everything else. But the Switch one was just really, really not good.
And I'm just talking about Funko Pops in general, not even the game.
You mean their eyes, their head shape?
The head
Yeah.
shape. And maybe it's just, I've seen them for so long now, right? Whenever I walk into a Hot Topic or GameStop. But,
You doing that a lot?
I mean, not nowadays, no. I'm mad at GameStop. They shut down Game Informer.
Yeah.
Fantasy Life, I can't tell. The Girl Who Steals Time has been delayed indefinitely.
Don't know what that is.
And then from Gematsu, Bully has been rated for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and PC in Taiwan. Gematsu notes, Bully will be available to download for GTA Plus members starting August 20th. These new ratings are likely connected. And then from IGN, PUBG publisher Krafton is bringing over roughly 50 of the 100 staff members employed at Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks while it operated under Microsoft. There you go. About half the studio seems like it's transferring over.
Good
Cool
for
to
them.
see. And then lastly, Hideo Kojima is teasing a new celebrity for Death Stranding 2. I have a tweet here for Kevin to bring up. It looks to be Kenjiro Tsuda. Kevin, if you can look up Kenjiro Tsuda, there's a picture that'll pop up on like the first page that looks like this exact photo. Cool.
The comments are so good. Like going through this tweet's comments. This is of all the people that it could be, like Tom Cruise.
Elizabeth Olsen. You were just naming random people. Yeah, like it's him, right? Like that's the exact silhouette that this man tweeted. Like, come on.
Popular actor, I'm assuming.
I imagine so. When I look him up, he seems like he's a popular voice actor.
Oh, I see a lot of. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
think
that
some of
library.
his credits might include like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'll look it up myself. My
Hero?
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Dude's all over the place. God
Chainsaw
dang.
Man. Yeah,
Oh, he
prolific.
plays the guy with green hair in. No, never mind. I was thinking that was the dude with green hair from the show that Mike likes. Was it One Piece?
One Piece.
I saw a dude with green hair, but it may not be the right guy.
And that's it for Wii News. Before we get out of here, let me shout out some super chats. Donut Dude 246 says Mario Sunshine in Museum because so good.
That's not.
That's exactly how they wrote it. David Short says shout out to James and Elise Willems and their live show they're putting on in September. A lot of cool people involved.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I
Love
saw
that
the
none of us
video
got
on
invites.
that.
That's kind of cool.
It looks awesome.
Awesome.
Let's go to LA in September. Let's go to it.
I'm done.
Street Shadow says, have y'all checked out the Pokemon news? Pokemon Worlds is coming to Anaheim in 2025 and SF in 2026. Plus Silent Hill 2 impressions are going well. I saw the Pokemon stuff. That's dope. That's coming to SF.
We knew about that, right? Or there was like at least rumors that it might come to SF because we were excited about Tim.
Maybe it was rumors.
Yeah.
Because, I saw like the official announcement, I think either this morning or last night.
2026 is so far away. If I wanted to know, where would I go? Say, here it is. Oh, it was pumpkin soup.
See?
That was thrown.
Now we
So,
all
which means
look like
I'm right. You know what I mean? Because, like, why spaghetti? Let's ask that. Let's ask the real question.
at one point
if it was spaghetti, there's a reason.
At one point, somebody threw a pasta. There was a pasta.
Here's the thing. Pumpkin soup isn't that surprising because they just be having that over there in France. I'm pretty
Pumpkin
sure.
soup? No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Why else would they have pumpkin soup?
They
How's that
imported it.
racist? You don't think they got pumpkin soup?
They don't like pumpkins.
We have our kind of foodie. Like if they had hamburgers on the fucking Mona Lisa, we'd be like, oh, Americans. You know what I mean? Or maybe Germans. But still.
Food thrown.
Andy, looking at this article, so we have the pumpkin,
Yeah.
and then we go back. It was a caked.
Oh, cake. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cake?
Yeah.
Where we associate
pastel.
cake with.
Teacup.
Oh, a teacup.
Yeah. Now we're getting black and white photos, so I don't.
Oh man, back in 1974. That's crazy.
I have to read this one. Let's assume this is the pasta one.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I want to know who threw the teacup because I have an idea.
Is it a British dude? Is that what you're
Fucking
saying?
Gary Whitta was over there. the Tottenham Hotspurs had just lost. Just got back from eating beans on toast, and he was like, fucking the Mona Lisa, and then threw the teacup out. That's it for Super Chats. It's time for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong.
Woman.
It was a Russian woman that threw the teacup.
Wild.
I checked my biases at the door. God dang. God dang. And then I think we just have one here from Tundra Boy for You're Wrong. Wii News, OG Resident Evil 2 is releasing on PC via GOG on August 27th.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. That brings us to the end of Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the GAMESCAST next, which is going to be our Black Myth Wukong review so far, and the stream after, which is going to be Mike and Nick just kicking it. But until next time, Game Daily.